Good to see you and thank you for joining us. If you are a parent who is sick to death with the emotional upheaval going on at home, with the meltdowns and the outbursts and the tantrums with your teenagers, then you've come to the right place. My name is Cai Graham. I am an author and a parenting expert. I am author of the Teen Toolbox, which is a best-selling Amazon book, which is basically equipping parents and teenagers with the tools for navigating adolescence. And don't we need a bit of that? Let's just talk about the teenage brain. I need that. The teenage brain is a bit like, or the teenage mind, is a bit like a pot of stew sitting on the stove. A full pot of stew. And what happens is it's bubbling away and there's about this much, till the top. And it's full. And someone turns the heat up a bit and it starts bubbling a bit more. Then the heat goes up again. And it's really sort of going, 10 to the dozen. Someone throws in a carrot or a potato or whatever, and the whole thing just goes and boils over. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what your teenager's brain is like. Because they are permanently on fight or flight. They are struggling. They have chaos going on in their head. Will I fit in? Will I get my grades? What happens about the planet and climate change? What happens if that girlfriend doesn't meet me at 10 o'clock underneath the clock tower? What happens if my mate does this? Why do I have to get home at 11 o'clock at night? Why I've got zits all over my face. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's just, they have a myriad of stuff going on in their head and they have no idea really how to filter it all. And so I'm just going to ask you parents to be the ones for the time being, just to keep the heat turned down. Just to make sure that their brains have got enough capacity to deal with when the spuds and the carrots go in, so that your child is able to cope with the roller coaster of what's going on in their head. And it really is, it is a mind-body connection. Because your thoughts do become your behaviour. And so if there's so much going on here, then it stands to reason to an extent that your child doesn't have the emotional capacity or intelligence to work out what's going on in their head. And this is when the meltdowns keep on coming. And it's hard. It's hard for you and it's hard for them. So one very quick way is just to take time out. I don't like to call it meditation, because as soon as I say meditation, even if you try and say to your kids, oh God, no, that's woo-woo, or you might be thinking the same, oh God, I've tried meditation, it doesn't work. So I just want a great way of calming the mind when there's so much rubbish going on, and I've got a couple of other exercises as well, but is just to take time out. It boosts the immune system, it boosts productivity, it boosts happiness, it boosts positivity, it reduces the stress levels in the body and reduces adrenaline and the cortisol, so the likelihood of anxiety and panic attacks are reduced, it reduces depression. We need a calm mind, and when your child doesn't know which way is up, it's jolly hard. So tell them to take time out, and this is what they have to do. They have to sit or lie quietly. They could be or stand, They could be standing in a post office queue or waiting in the lunch queue. I don't care, but time out is just a matter of going, right, stop. Just stop. And be quiet. And pay attention to the breath. Because invariably it can be a bit shallow and a bit fast. So just go back to calm, regular breathing. Just gently. And what we're trying to do is calm that myriad of chaotic thoughts going on in the head. So just when they're just breathe, just think of the breath, and then suddenly it'll go, oh look, but what happens if, and rather than go, oh my God, I'm meant to be taking time out here, just go, thinking. Thank you, let that one go. And another thought, and no, thinking, just let that go back to the breath. Just go slowly back to the breath and concentrate on that. And don't beat yourself up if you sort of got the, oh my God, hurry up, I'm going to be sick, or oh my God. It's just okay, calm down. Thinking, that's just thinking. My thoughts become actions. So if I'm panicky, I'm going to behave like that, and my thoughts are like that. So if I calm down, if I just concentrate on my breath for 1 or 2 minutes, I'll tell you what, the sky hasn't fallen in, and my panic levels are going down. And sure, what happens if my mates don't ask me out to that party? Well, I'll go out with the other ones. Well, what happens if? That's all right. Because as soon as we, a bit like the stew pot, as soon as we create the space, then we are able to deal better. We have more brain capacity to deal with the chaos. The problem is, and that is just a way of calming down, of just getting a handle on what's going on. Because meltdowns are really a reaction to too much going on in here, too much heat, too many carrots, too many potatoes, too much everything, life's demanding too much of me. I've got to save the planet, and I've got to go to drama practice, and I've got to get a grade A in my maths, and oh my God, I said I'd take the dog for a walk as well, and they're all going to shout at me, and there's too much panic. What is important though, and that's chaos in the head. That's rubbish going on. Too many thoughts. So by breathing and creating space and taking time out, you are able to create that space for slightly more rational thought. But what is important, and that is a surefire way of just stopping a meltdown before it's likely to happen. What I don't want you to do, let me take another slurp. What I don't want you to do is ignore those negative feelings though. So and we talked about negative feelings in the previous episode. Don't ignore negative feelings. Because what happens is our brain is a decision-making, problem-solving organ. And so what it needs to do is, if something comes up and it's a sort of, you need to, I don't know, whatever you're worrying about is, I'm really scared about my maths test, then you need to acknowledge what's going on, and acknowledge all those negative feelings and find out why. And as we discussed it in the previous episode, work out what's going on. The problem is if we leave negative feelings unchecked, this is when we hit meltdowns. Because what happens is, if you've got a negative feeling, do you know sort of sometimes when something comes along and maybe a bad thought or something that you're embarrassed about or something you're scared about comes along, and it's sort of just about to sort of, and you go, oh no, I can't think about that, I can't think about that, and you push it away. What happens is that the brain goes, well, hang on a minute, we've got to deal with this. We can't have this hanging over us forever. So what happens is that sort of problem, that thought, that feeling gets bigger. So that next time you think about it, oh my God, no, there it is again. No, but I don't want to, no, that makes me feel bad. I don't want to talk about that. That just makes, and so you push it away. So here it comes and it's bigger. And so really what then happens is these things get bigger and bigger and bigger, and bam, there is your meltdown. That is what happens. And it interrupts your sleep, it interrupts your stress levels get higher, your sleep patterns, anxiety levels go through the roof. And so it is important, as I said in the previous episode, it is important to address these negative aspects of what's going on in your head so that you can rationalize them and unpick them and sort of, so they don't snowball anymore. Because the whole point, and this is where the mind and the body start sort of connecting. The whole point is if you've got chaos going on in your head, you're going to feel it physically. Your heart rate rises, your pulse rate goes, you start feeling hot and sweaty, you might have that feeling of nausea in your stomach, you might, your back of your legs go, you get all sweaty. It's that sort of panicky feeling. That is the mind-body connection. And that's when you that's when you start losing it, because not only is your head in chaos, but your brain's pumping everything, going, come on. And so there's no other way but for you to have an outburst. And this is what is happening to your child a lot if their negative emotions remain unchecked. So meltdowns are you ignoring all the signs, and your child doesn't know how to address any of these signs. Your child doesn't know what they're doing. This is new to them. Might be new to you, so buckle up and listen. But as I've said in previous episodes, their brain is a work in progress, and because this might be a new feeling for them or a new emotion or alien, and it makes them feel crap, they don't know how to deal with this. So it is up to us to, I was going to say take control. Control's a bad word. Guide them. Because as I said, we don't really want to be our child's manager or controller any longer. We want to be their mentor, especially when they're in the teenage years. Do you remember? It's about spotting the signs. It's about spotting the physical signs, and it's about spotting the mental signs. Do you remember when, especially if you're a mum, you'll know this, and that's a generalisation, and I'm not negating the rest of the population, but I as a new mum, if I heard a baby cry, I could say, no, that baby's hungry, or that baby's tired, or that baby's needing attention, or dirty nappy. There are high-pitched cries and moany cries and and you can tell, you can start telling, and it's, oh, yeah, we all used to sit there and go, yeah, dirty nappy, or bad luck. And you can tell. But somehow we lose touch of that as our children get bigger and more independent. Even when sort of, when toddlers come out of nursery and they go, oh, you can tell it's, oh, pet, you're just tired. Come in, let me give you a kiss. And we can tell, as new parents, our children's basic needs. And I think somehow we lose touch with that, especially when the gamut of different things just gets bigger and more complicated, and what's going on. I don't know why my teenager's being a bullshit so and so, but the more you try and tune into it, the better you will get. So start looking at your teenager when they're sort of about to kick off. You're going to have to preempt this. You're going to have to get used to it, but it's a great way of learning and the signs, because when you know the signs, you can help them. And it's sort of, it's sort of, oh well, yeah, straight after football they're always a bit like that, or oh, I know, as soon when they come out of an exam, I know how to deal with that because this is what they need. Or oh no, I tell you what, you can tell when they've had 3 hours on Fortnite. Do you know what I mean? So it's understanding how your child is reacting at the time, because once you understand how they are manifesting these signals physically and mentally, you can help them and go, sweetheart, this always happens after history, or this always happens after going to Sheila's house. And it's, oh yeah, I don't like her brother. Or, oh yeah, she's got a dog and I'm allergic. Do you know what I mean? And it helps your child to connect the dots. So the way, get a pen if you want to and pause this, but the way you can acknowledge this, or the way you can deal with this, is the 4 A's. So one is acknowledge, and I've done a lot of this throughout the series, and I do a lot of this on my videos. Acknowledging feelings is blimmin' massive, because I tell you what, half the time we don't. Half the time we try and paper over the cracks and sort of, oh no, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this, or oh my God, or oh, it's bad of me, and it's not. Feelings are not bad. Feelings are your truth. And if you don't like Sheila's dog, that's fine. Or if you don't like history, that's fine. Or if you don't like being treated badly by X, Y, and Z, that's quite right. Or if you feel sad when this happens, good. Shows you blimmin' got a heart. And if you're fearful of things, well, that's your brain telling you to watch out and look after yourself. So please do not diss how you or your child are feeling. This is good. So acknowledge what's going on. And then assess those feelings. Sweetheart, what happened today? I got 3 out of 20 for chemistry. Oh, how are you feeling? Guilty? Upset? I hate Mr. Evans anyway. How did everyone else do? Oh no, they did all right. So it wasn't really Mr. Evans's fault. No. How else are you feeling? Bad? Okay, so we've acknowledged feelings. Let's assess them. Okay, so it's quite good that you're feeling bad, because I know you could do better. I know you're clever. Maybe you know. And it's just working through it, and it's talking about it and assessing the situation. And it's sort of acknowledging exactly what's going on. The next, so it's acknowledge and assess. The third one is addressing the issues. Okay, well, and this is big, because this helps your child build resilience, it helps them build control, it helps them understand, it helps them get learnings, it helps them for better decision making in the future. So, okay, well, what could you do next time so you don't feel like this and get 3 out of 20? I could revise. Yep. I could not spend the whole night on Fortnite the night before. Yes. I could not sit next to Mary because all she does is sniff and she puts me off. Yes. And so it gives your child the capacity to work out how maybe not to have meltdowns or bad feelings or bad situations in the future. Yeah? And it gives them control, so that maybe it's not going to be a meltdown next time. And then number 4 is A for action. So what are they going to do? And it could be, it could be sort of whatever. It's giving them the capacity to acknowledge, assess, address, and take action. This gives your child the opportunity, and it might not be comfortable, but that's the whole point. We learn when things are not going so well. When everything's successful and going along swimmingly, we actually don't sort of take stock. So, in the case of 3 out of 20 for chemistry, well, you're being thick, you're lazy, you're no use, blah, blah, blah. You go, work it out next time. I just can't. That's no use. Your children need to be guided, because invariably when they have meltdowns, when they have a bad time, is because they can't cope, and it is our job to help them cope. And by doing acknowledge, assess, address, and take action, that's giving them the tools to do something better next time. Okay, maybe I shouldn't go on a sleepover before a French GCSE. Yeah, well done for working that one out. And I think the thing is that we need to support them and praise them, and it's so easy to get cross. Well, I told you so. Mum knows best. You know, I'm speaking from experience. I don't want you to feel like I did. Well, I tell you what, our kids do actually need to learn by their mistakes. But treating their chaotic mind, treating their meltdowns, treating their emotional outbursts, treating it all with kindness. Because it's blimmin' confusing out there. And I remember my daughter, she just sort of said, yeah, I know you can't do anything about it, but will you just listen? Of course I will. God, that sucks. What are you going to do next time? Yeah, well done. Yeah. And it just, I think the thing with meltdowns and outbursts, it's a bit of panic going on. And they just don't know which way to turn. And if you are the straight rudder in their storm, then well done you. Because that's what they need. I know they probably need a, damn good talking to. But you're going to have to pick your moments for that, because if they're having a meltdown, it ain't going to be much use anyway. But it's worth remembering that thoughts become actions. So if your child is having a meltdown, if your child is that stew pot that's about to explode, it's because their thoughts are all over the place, their mind is in chaos, and they need love, understanding and guidance for that. And it's worth reminding your child, sweetheart, this is just your thinking. This is just what's going on in your head. It's not who you are. You are not your behaviour. Regardless if they've, got their girlfriend pregnant, or if they've been caught stealing, or if they're on drugs, or if they've got 3 out of 20 for chemistry. They are not their behaviour. They are your child. And even though it's quite hard sometimes, you might not like their behaviour, but I'm assuming you love them dearly. Episode 2. And when they know that, they can conquer the world. So if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. This is number 4 in the series, and number 5 is all about emotional regulation. So we will go and have a look at that next time. So thank you. Please share this video if you know of someone that might benefit from it as well. And in the meantime, remember, I am here to support you. I am here to support parents and teenagers, but I'm here to support parents so that they can support their children, so that together we can build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. So much love, thank you for watching, and I shall catch you next time. Bye-bye.